Hi there, I'm Lisa. Welcome back to another Motivational Monday. Today I have got a Q&A for you. I have asked within our chat group for any questions, and I printed them all off and I thought I'd go through with them today with you. There's a whole range varying from business, crafting, Disney, all kinds of things. So hopefully you will find this helpful. I am going to start off with a nice easy one. Anne wanted to know about drying craft projects, how I dry mine. I use a heat gun. She did say that she uses a hairdryer, which is a bit dangerous. Don't do that. Obviously it can scorch. I must admit though, the very first thing that I used to dry my craft projects was a paint stripper. It was loud and it scorched. It's so dangerous. But the heat guns, I've got quite a few of these now. They are so good. Plug them in. They're nice and safe. Obviously, keep moving them around though, because they are hot at the end of the day. Do it in a safe area, but keep moving it around so you haven't got the concentrated heat in the one area. They're not that expensive. They're about £10. So Anne, please invest in a heat gun. They're fantastic and they make life so much easier. I'm very impatient, so I do like to dry my projects off rather than wait. I'm going to stay with the craft for a little bit. Claire has asked whether or not I used to fuss over my scrapbook pages. To be honest, no, not really. Maybe when I first started out. I've been scrapbooking though for about 15 years now. I may have done to start with, but I've never been an overthinker. I've always done it because I love the creating. I've always kept photo albums, and I've always done captions and stuck bits and pieces on, even as a child. But obviously scrapbooking took that to a whole new level, and I scrapbooked because I loved the whole process just as much as the storytelling. And I think I'm quite an excited person though. I do really get into things, and I'm not so much of a thinker. I just do it. Same with starting the business, same with everything that I do. I throw myself 110% into something, and I'm not really a slow mover. I just go for it. So no, I don't really overthink, to be really honest with you. I have scrapbooked with friends before though, where they just take so long to do a page, moving things around and umming and ahhing. I love repositional tape for that reason, because I can quickly change. But no, I just love the whole process, and I do just get on with things, to be really honest. And she also wanted to know where I get my scrapbook style from. I really don't know, to be honest. I've actually bought in an older album here, just to show you. This is a 2012 album. I've always loved colour. I've always, for a very, very long time, I've painted, I've ink sprayed, I've sewn. I've got one page here. I don't think my style has changed that much. I did used to love Sassafras Lass, was a company back in the day. I loved their papers. I think actually maybe that's where my inspiration comes. Them and Love Elsie. There's another one. She was Elsie Flanagan back in the day, and she's now, oh, my mind's just gone back. Elsie Larsen. Love Elsie. She was the first person in the scrapbooking industry that really caught my eye, the first brand. And I just bought all of her collection. She had a lot of fabric papers, and they were just bright, they were whimsical, they were fun, just like Sassafras Lass, and I was instantly hooked. And I think actually that's what inspired me. I've got quite a lot of, all of Elsie's books that she ever wrote. So actually that's where the inspiration for my kind of style came from. Never really thought about it until now, actually. Here's another one, and again, as you can see, very mixed meadery. My style really hasn't changed at all. Here is another one. This paper is Sassafras Lass as well. Storytelling has always been really important to me. Another very me page there, and a sweet one of Holly. So that takes me nicely, actually. Ellen wanted to know, she's got a couple of questions, wanted to know about where does my inspiration come for things in the business, and do I have any favourite Instagrammers or YouTubers. I really don't know where the inspiration comes from the business. I have a really busy head. I'm constantly thinking of ideas. I've got now ideas going through all the way to next spring now. I'm writing down kit names, ideas, color combinations. It can be anything from a shop window. The What's Your Story kit, for example, I was in next, and there was a little postcard in the frame section and it said, "What's my story?" And I'd already planned something kind of like that, kind of like journaling type thing for that kit anyway, and I wrote it down or took a photo there and then, came home and changed that kit name to What's Your Story. It can be anything. Yeah, I really don't know, but my ideas just seem to come all the time, mostly in bed and in the shower. So I do have little notebooks in the bedroom and that kind of thing, because I'm always scribbling down ideas and I just don't want to forget things. Favorite Instagrammers and YouTubers. Elsie. Elsie is one of my favorite Instagrammers. I will link her up below. She's not so much, she doesn't do scrapbooking anymore. She's very much more home decor, that kind of thing, which I love. I love all of that kind of thing. I follow all the like Target dollar spots, all that kind of thing in the US. Lots and lots of more home decor than I do scrapbooking, I have to say. My Missy Whidden is one of my favorite scrapbookers. I will link her up. Absolutely love her work. If I can think of any others below as well, you know what it's like, your mind goes blank. I will link those up. As far as YouTubers go, I don't watch a lot of crafty type YouTube videos. The majority of the time, probably 99% of my time, I have YouTube on whilst I work. But because I'm working, I'm not watching in so much. I tend not to concentrate very well, so I don't really watch like craft tutorials. I watch a lot of Disney. I watch a lot of home type things, home renovations, cleaning videos. I do love watching Geraldine though. Geraldine has this kind of like, she sends me almost into a trance. There's something about her, so I'll link her up below as well. I think that's it. If I think of any more though, I will let you know. Ellen also wants to know, how do I get the best work-life balance? I don't. I'm trying all the time. I'm really, really bad at that. I've always worked a lot more than I have spent in my personal life. I'm really bad at taking days off. Yeah, that whole work, private work-life balance, I'm really not great at that. In some ways it's easier now with the kids being older, but at the same time it's harder because I find it harder to switch off. I've got more time that I can work, and I definitely feel that working time. When they were younger, I was a lot stricter. It wasn't abnormal for me to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and work until I had to get them up for school. Then I would continue when they were at school or preschool or whatever, and then I was always very strict that I stopped when they came home from school between then and 7 o'clock, and before they went to bed. That was their time, whether it be meal time, going out and doing activities, and I did my own kind of like after school things at home with them, and then I would start again as soon as they went to bed and work through till kind of like 11, 12. It was constant. Nora wants to know what kind of crafting I did when the kids were little. We did all kinds of crafting. I've got a brother that's much younger than myself actually. He's 12 years younger, and I used to craft a lot with him as well. I remember we had budgies and canaries, and we'd collect all the feathers from the cage, and I remember like drawing a budgie and getting him to stick all the feathers on, or we'd go in the garden and we'd do rubbings on fences, brick walls and all that kind of thing. So I continued that with my kids really. I had kids when I was really young, so my brother was still really little when they were born. I think there's 12 years between Gareth and Holly, my oldest. So yeah, we've always done lots of crafting, always lots of drawing, colouring, sticker books. The kids always had their own scrapbooks. We'd make mini books. So like I remember doing like Halloween mini books, we'd make them together and I'd help them with their photos, and then they'd stick them in, do their own writing. They've always been very creative, and I've seen that as they grow up. They're very, very creative people, to the point like with even like doing work, their school projects, they would always border them nicely. Everything would be nicely done. And Holly is very, very arty. She's an amazing artist. She loves baking, she loves cooking, she's very, very good. Louis is more creative in a different way. He's always loved to write, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to get into like movie making, writing, and so they're both very, very creative people, and I'm sure that's with having such a creative upbringing. I think it must have helped. Oh, I like to think it has. Lorraine asks if I have a methodical system for scrapbooking my photos. No, not really. I scrapbook what I fancy. I try and keep on top of things. Like I said, I've been scrapbooking for a long time. I do dip back into old photos sometimes if I fancy it. Say like you see a particular photo and it reminds you of something. With regards to storing my photos, I store them all online now. I don't print them off as I go along. I don't send them off to be printed. I print off my own photos, which helps. But I have a folder system, and I have years split into months, and then I'll add the days within that month. So if I wanted the 2nd of January on the, I don't know, 2nd of January 2007, I would go straight to my folder and find it immediately online. I've always kept my folders, my photo folders, really neat and tidy. But as photos, no, I just scrapbook what I fancy. So at the moment I'm still working on our summer holiday photos. I have a Disney or album, and then I'm also working on just current photos as and when I fancy. I never put myself under pressure though to have to scrapbook a certain time or finish at a certain time, because for me that takes the enjoyment away. Corianne has 2 questions. What camera do I use to film my videos? I am using it right now, so I can't show it to you. It's a Canon G7X Mark II. It's a good old vlogger camera. I absolutely love the camera. I've actually been buying the, I think they're PowerShot cameras, the Canon cameras. I've been buying them for quite a few years now. I think this is my 3rd. I think I had the G10 and then the G15 before this, which I left on a plane, and I got really upset. I absolutely loved that camera, and I did get the camera back, but in the meantime I started looking at other cameras. This was the next one that was available, the one that I've got now. It was the one that all the vloggers were shouting about. I wasn't videoing then, only for us, and we were coming back from, we'd done a big US trip, going to New York, DC, and then traveling through Virginia, Tennessee to my dad in Indiana, and I'd actually thought about vlogging that trip, and it would have been the first time I'd vlogged, and I didn't pluck up courage, and I really, really regretted it. So I did actually, despite getting the camera back, I actually splashed the cash, bought this camera, and started doing YouTube, and never looked back. I absolutely love this camera, and I know loads and loads of other people love it for videoing as well. Photos are excellent as well. The thing that I fell in love with this camera, not this particular one, but the previous ones that I'd bought, because we love going to Florida, it's such a good camera. It's like a halfway point between the big old DSLRs and your little snapshots that you put in your pocket. It's a really good quality photo, and it fits in your pocket, which is perfect for when you're on Disney trips. And Corianne also wanted to know when I started crafting. I've always made things. I think most crafters say that, don't they? I've always done mini books, photo albums. I was big into cross stitch when I was in my teens. I used to always draw, that kind of thing, but I properly started card making when the children were babies, and then that led on to scrapbooking. So that was about 15 years ago, and the scrapbooking just completely took over. I just fell in love. It was really for me, and I've just hasn't stopped scrapbooking since. I have so many albums. So I have 2 questions from Diana. What did I do before the business? My very first job was at the British Consulate. I actually left school to go and work there in Dusseldorf. I used to live nearby. That was when I was 17. I then worked a short while. I moved back to England, worked in my aunt's health food store, and then I ended up working for Lufthansa. I worked for the German airlines. I grew up in Germany and went to a German school from the age of 13, and so I worked at Heathrow as ground staff. Absolutely loved it. And then I gave up work when I had Louis. I hated working after I had Holly. I really did. I went for part-time, went back to work when she was 5 months old and hated it. I just loved being at home with the kids. And she also wants to know how I got to the place of starting up my own business. It kind of happened accidentally. I used to get really, not bored, that's not the right word. Well, I did used to get bored of mumsy conversations and all that kind of thing. I've always been a very busy person. I started selling, because I was card making, I started selling my own cards, and I'd go around like craft fairs and Christmas fairs, school fairs, all that kind of thing. And then I started having, because I used to do Osborne books for a while as well, selling Osborne books. And so I started doing a similar kind of thing, but selling my cards and making photo albums, and gift bags and all that kind of thing. So I started going around people's houses, but then I started being asked at craft fairs all the time if I did wedding stationery. So then it kind of made sense. If you can sell one card, why not sell 100 of them in one go? So I started up a wedding stationery business, which was Funky Fairies, which is why my Instagram name is the Funky Fairy. That was 2003, and it took off straight away. I became really, really busy. I ended up with 8 people working for me at one point, and yeah, it was a huge success. And then I kind of got bored. Bridezillas are hard to deal with. Mums of bridezillas even harder. And it was from, I'd say from Feb through till September, I had no breathing space. It was really hard with the kids. I was just full on all the time. And then one night I had the idea of Lollipop, and it was just like doing my hobby, because I was still scrapbooking when I had the time, and Lollipop just felt like me, just doing everything that I love. And so I thought I'll give it a go, and it ended up just taking over the wedding business. And I was so pleased when I finally pulled the plug on Funky Fairies. Although Funky Fairies was just amazing for me, it changed my life in so many ways. Julie has a Disney question. She's planning to go over to Florida in just over 2 years, and she would like some tips on early planning. How exciting. You know I love a Disney trip. We've been going to Florida now since 2007. I did do a Florida trip before then, but we didn't do the whole Disney shebang. Holly was only 2, and I was expecting and had really, really bad morning sickness, and it rained nearly every day. That wasn't the best trip. Yeah, 2007 was our first proper Disney trip. We used to go between every 2 to 3 years, and then it's only recently that we've started going more regular. I have got some videos which I will link up. I did actually already message Julie and give her those links for early planning, money saving, all that type of thing, so I will link those up below if they interest you. But with regards to planning and a Disney trip, it's all in the planning. That's the only way that the trip will be successful. So you can fit it all in, do all the saving, and get things like your meal reservations booked, your fast passes booked. It's definitely in the planning. Sarah wants to know what kind of watercolors I use. I do have them here. I've got another palette which is kind of okay. It's not the best. She said about my colors always looking so bright. I love this set. It's a Japanese box. It's a really pretty box actually. I will link these up below. They are so beautiful, really, really lovely. They've got such a lovely texture to them, almost like a cream. Love these. And then my favorites, I forgot to find out where these are from. I got these from Danielle, who's on my team, and she bought me them for Christmas. And I love them so much. These are the vibrant ones that you see. They are amazing. It says Meeden Watercolour, and then they're written on each one. So we've got like rows of ultramarine. They are amazing, these colours. Love them so much. Hazel wants to know how I keep so motivated, as apparently I'm always so upbeat. Obviously you only see me for a fraction of the time. I I know Hazel lives quite locally, so she sees a little bit more of me and has known me for quite a long time. Aid obviously sees me all the time and probably wouldn't necessarily agree with that. I'm not always upbeat. I can be a right moany old Minnie sometimes. I am a very positive person. I've always been very positive. I am a believer that you only have one life and you live it. I try not to think too badly of people, no matter what. I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. I try and be a really good person, and I try and see the good in everything and everyone, even if sometimes that's difficult. But I think that's really important, and I just don't let things get me down, or at least I don't try to. I haven't always had this probably what seems a really lovely life. Things have been really difficult in the past. The last 10 years have been really good to me, actually. It's certainly made up for the before, but even before, when life was really difficult, I would never show it. I always put on a brave face to anybody. People wouldn't have, because I don't know if you know, I was married before. Nobody would have known that there were problems, and I think people were really shocked when we split up because I didn't let on. I've always kept things to myself and just been a smiler and a jolly person on the outside. And that's the way that I work. I do try and see the positive in everything. I think because life was really difficult before as well, there's very rarely a day where I wake up and I don't feel really grateful for where I am now. I feel safe, I'm happy, I don't have the stresses. I have some stresses obviously, but not anywhere near like what I used to have, and a day doesn't go past when I don't think of those days, and I just don't feel really grateful for where I am today. So I think that has a lot to do with my upbeat. And I'm also, we've had quite a few young deaths in our family as well, and that just makes you feel grateful. The last one was my uncle, who was only 7 years older than me, and in fact one of his children is actually younger than Holly. His kids are all about the same age as mine. And that just makes you realise, you only live once, and I don't tend to think too far ahead. I tend to just get on with the moment. I had a conversation, I remember, with my sister once, because our house always needs work doing on it. It's really tired, but we've put all the money into our holidays. I remember my sister once saying about, we had holes in our carpet on the stairs, and she said she couldn't live like that. And I was more happy saving for our next trip. That was always more important to me. We've had amazing holidays. My kids are really close. We're really close as a family, and I'm sure a lot of that comes from our trips. With regards to the carpet on the stairs, I pulled it up and I painted the stairs. So that's always been my priority, and I think actually that also keeps me upbeat, knowing that we've got a holiday, that we're saving for a holiday. I like to have something to look forward to. I change my countdown every day, even when it's like been on like 300 and something. Even we've had countdowns where they've started at 800 and something. I will always change that countdown every day, and that really helps me. I've always been the type of person, I like something to look forward to. Julie's questions are the last ones. She says, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where would you like your business to be? And where would you like to visit on future holidays? So future holidays, we've got one coming up to California this year, which I'm really excited about. We did sign up to Disney's the Disney Vacation Club in the summer. I would like to do a video about that because I've had lots of questions. It's like Disney's version of timeshare. So we've got 50 years of Disney holidays to come, which is really exciting. Obviously, unless we sell before. So we do see ourselves going back to Florida quite a bit. You can use them though all over the world, you name it, and there's Disney accommodation out there. So but we do love the States and we keep going back. I would like to go to Italy. I've never been to Italy. That is on my list. I have traveled quite a lot, so I have been fortunate before having the children that I have been to a lot of places. I would love to go to Gatlinburg. I love Tennessee. I love Virginia, that whole area in the States. Gatlinburg is definitely on my list. I would love to do more road trips in the States. I've been to the Grand Canyon and Las Vegas and all that area, but nobody else in the family has. So I would also like to do a trip there one day. I'd like to go to Utah. go to like Monument Valley and all that. So yeah, just lots more US trips, I think. I would like to go and see my dad more as well. Dad lives in Indiana, and I'd like to try and get in a couple more trips with him as well. They're getting older now, and I feel the need to go and see him a little bit more too. I don't know where I see myself in 5 years, to be honest. Like I said, I'm not a big forward planner. I am more of in the moment. I don't know. The kids are getting older, which scares me. I know that we will obviously have more time as a couple. I would like to think that hopefully the business has grown. I would like to still be doing Lollipop. Lollipop makes me so happy, and I see that it makes other people happy, which then makes me even happier. I would like to really do more classes. I used to teach a lot of mixed media, a lot of scrapbooking, and I'd really like to get back into that. I have considered Patreon as a platform to teach more in-depth classes, mini books, journaling and all that kind of thing, but it's having the time. I'm already so flat out, but it is something that I would really like to do. So I don't know. I'm really happy with where I am at the moment though. So even if I were to continue as I am, I'd be really happy. Does that sound really sad? I love my business, I love what I do, and I love my holidays, so I'm just really happy at the moment. So I think that's the end of my Q&A. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any other questions, and I hope this has helped in many ways, whether it's been scrapbooking, crafting, anything like that. Let me know if any of these questions have been helpful to you, and let me know if you have any more. I'm really excited about this week's videos, so don't miss them. I'm doing journaling, creative journaling in my traveler's notebook. Midweek, some Disney kind of journaling that I'm doing on Wednesday. Friday, I'm really excited about that video. I've redone the whole corner of my lounge, some new shelving, and I've got lots of fun DIYs that you can do. I'm so excited to share that with you. I've got Disney at the weekend again on Saturday, and I'm going to try and squeeze in an extra scrapbooking video this week as well. I've got something in mind that I'm really excited to share with you. It's a really fun one, so hopefully I will find the time to squeeze that in. So please don't miss my videos. Please subscribe if you don't already, and I will see you next on Wednesday. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!